Hi, and welcome to New Year, New Voice 2025, day 23. And today we're going to talk a little bit about vibrato. I haven't talked about it yet on this series, although I've done some videos about vibrato, but it's a very important subject. And, vibrato is the natural oscillation in a functioning free voice of the pitch, right? So you have the vocal mechanism that kind of creates little undulations of the pitch. And some people have faster vibratos, some people have slower vibratos, but in general, there's a range, a healthy range of what constitutes a kind of a normal vibrato, right? So we always want to shoot in that healthy range. And if our vibrato is a little bit, too fast or too slow, it can indicate some imbalances in the voice. But one thing specifically I want you to look at is the prominence of your cartilage moving when there is vibrato. And I've talked about this a little bit before. I've talked about this actually a lot before, but I'm not sure it was fully understood when I talk about it. So I think I have a little bit different way to phrase this. Basically, when vibrato happens, there's a couple different things that are going on, right? There is the cartilage, the thyroid cartilage, that does move slightly. It does go with the oscillation of the pitch. So like when the vocal cords are meeting, right, and there's an undulation of the pitch that creates the vibrato, there will be a slight resonation of the cartilage. So you will have a movement of the cartilage, and that is just so that you're not holding it in position. It's not being held in position, right? Let's say more like that. It's not being held into position. However, if that oscillation gets too pronounced, that can be more like what we would do in a trill. So you would have like, oh, like, this kind of going like that a little bit too much. And that can indicate that we need a little bit more control and activity in the larynx to sort of stabilize the voice and regulate the vibrato. So this is very important because it's something that we have control over, meaning if we're aware that it's happening, we can start to do exercises to make sure that it's not so pronounced. So unfortunately, I'm still sick, so I can't vocally demonstrate too much. I can do a little bit, but I just want to say that when you are watching and observing your singing and you're listening, if you start to notice, hey, my vibrato is getting a little bit wider, a little bit more pronounced, the pitches are a little bit unclear, then it might be time to tune up your vibrato. And it's as simple as bringing some awareness. So I am not suggesting that we don't have any oscillation with the thyroid cartilage. It shouldn't be held into, a kind of a turned position and stay there. However, we do need it to be strong enough to, in general, keep that form, and that it's not doing this, flipping back and forth. And if it moves too much, that creates that instability. So why I say that is because we can see it. We can actually see it in the mirror if that is happening. So if you're singing and your vibrato is very pronounced, you may start to see this move like that. And that can indicate that that is too much, and you need to start working on the stability of the voice so that the natural vibrato can regulate. And how you do that is basically, you can do any exercise, but keeping the awareness on the pitch, keeping a sense of healthy straight tone, meaning you're not holding the larynx in a high position, but in the yawn mechanism, in this, you can kind of straighten out the pitch. So pick your favorite vocal exercise and you can do it like that. Or even, you can even be singing, songs or arias and checking what the larynx is doing and bringing a sense, like an aesthetic sense of a yawny position, but a straight tone can start to help to regulate that vibrato if it is starting to get out of control. And this is also good, if you haven't developed vibrato yet, this is probably not for you. This is more for professional singers who are maybe going down a little bit of a path where the vibrato is starting to get a little more pronounced. And that happens. I will say, if you're not checking that as a professional singer, you need to be on top of that, because it is the type of thing that you just have to be aware of. It will generally happen if you're not taking care. Let's put it like that. And you're not every day doing exercises and creating the awareness of your inner ear to make sure that that is not happening. So the awareness of the pitch, the awareness of the fundamental, keeping a sense of the laryngeal turn or the yawning position while you are also, keeping that straight tone idea. And that's an idea. That doesn't mean that you actually hold the larynx to make a straight tone. You don't do that. You just have the idea that the pitch will be a little bit straighter. Okay. And there's a dog barking. That's not mine, but sounds cool. So that is something to consider as you're working. And, don't belabor this. If you feel like, oh, I don't know if my vibrato is too much, or if it's, ask someone you trust. That's important. But if you notice, hey, my vibrato used to be a lot faster. Now it's really slow and really pronounced. Yeah, then you need to try this, right? You need to start bringing this awareness into your practice. But if your vibrato has always been a certain rate, it's never been faster, never been slower, and you're like, maybe, is it too much? I don't know, probably not, if it's been like that over your singing career. But if you start to notice changes, it's a good time to look at that. So hope this video helps, and we'll see you tomorrow.